Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Whitemarsh Supervisors Board meeting for June 13th. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jacy, you have some announcements.
Thank you, Fran. June is Pride Month. The Whitemarsh Township Board of Supervisors encourage Township residents to show their pride and support of our LGBTQ+ friends, family, colleagues, and neighbors. Sunday, June 16th, is Father's Day. The Board of Supervisors wishes all the dads a happy Father's Day. June 19th is Juneteenth, also known as Freedom Day, a federal holiday marking the official end of slavery in the United States. The Board of Supervisors encourages everyone to observe the significance of African American heritage in our nation and community. It is a day of celebration and reflection of freedom for all in our country. Don't miss out on the celebration during Whitemarsh Township's annual 4th of July parade. The parade is held in conjunction with the Lions Club of Whitemarsh and will begin at 10 a.m. at the Whitemarsh Township building. The parade will march down Germantown Pike and end in Miles Park. After the parade has ended, join us at Miles Park for a community picnic. The Whitemarsh Board of Supervisors would like to send well wishes and congratulations to all those who graduated this year from college, high school, grade school, middle school, and kindergarten. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
Thank you, Jacy. All right, do I have a motion to adopt the meeting minutes from May 9th to 2024?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, we'll get into our public hearings. We have a few of them tonight. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing to consider conditional use number 01-24 at 644 Germantown Pike to operate a personal service shop, a hair salon in the VC1 district?
Second.
Mr. Kilkenny.
So you made a motion, a second, you're going to vote to open the public hearing?
I'm sorry.
Yep.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Mr. Kilkenny.
Yes, thank you very much. We have a conditional use hearing this evening for 644 Germantown Pike, personal services shop in the VC1 Commercial District, Subdistrict 1, Whitemarsh Code Section 11629C2. What I'm going to do is mark some exhibits for the record. T1 will be an application with floor plans, site plans, and photographs submitted April 22nd, 2024. T2 will be a proof of publication of this conditional use hearing and notice to the public in the Times Herald, our newspaper of general circulation, on May 29th and June 5th, 2024. T3 will be the applicant meeting notification letter of April 26, 2024. T4 will be the resident meeting notification letter of April 26, 2024. T5 will be the posting notice June 4th, 2024. T6 will be the fire marshal review May 8th, 2024. T7 will be the zoning ordinance compliance review dated April 30th, 2024. And finally, T8 will be the Whitemarsh Township Planning Commission recommendation draft minutes of meeting May 14th, 2024, motion recommending approval of application. Tonight, the board will be hearing, after Mr. Guttenplan can give a brief explanation, we'll be hearing from the applicant's attorney here to make a brief presentation about this conditional use. The board would have the opportunity to ask questions. Then there will be an opportunity for public comment or questions. But because this is a conditional use hearing, I have to ask, is anybody requesting party status? And why I say this is, when there's a conditional use hearing, the Board of Supervisors sits in a quasi-judicial role like the Zoning Hearing Board. So somebody who is affected by this conditional use application would have the ability to go ahead and request party status. Just because you don't ask for party status doesn't mean you can doesn't mean you're not able to comment. You can comment. Party status only means that you'd have the ability to cross-examine their witnesses, if any, that are called, or call your own witnesses. Is anybody out here requesting party status for this application? Okay, seeing none, I'll turn it over to Mr. Guttenplan for a brief explanation.
Thank you. This is, you heard, a conditional use application for a personal service shop, a hair salon, on the first floor of the building under consideration is 644 Germantown Pike. This is under section 116-290C2 of the Township zoning ordinance. This was before the Township Planning Commission at its meeting on May 14th, and the Planning Commission recommended that approval of the conditional use should be considered. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Greg Edelman, the attorney for the applicant.
Great, thank you very much, Charlie. Good evening, Greg Edelman here on behalf of the Landows, the owner of the building located at 644 Germantown Pike. As both your solicitor and your planner stated, we're here for a conditional use application seeking approval of a hair salon on the first floor of the existing building. The building is approximately 2,900 square feet plus or minus. Total size, the property is zoned VC1, which permits this hair salon as a conditional use. The proposal is to lease 708 square feet plus or minus of the first floor to a hair salon that will be operating with 2 full-time employees. Hours of operation will be closed on Monday, Tuesday to Thursday, 12 to 9, Friday, 11 to 7, and Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 6. The proposed operator has over 20 years of salon experience in providing hair and skin care. There are no improvements proposed to the exterior of the building, and we're here this evening to basically ask for your approval. Overall, the parking that is required is 13 spaces. The site has 13 spaces. That breakdown is 9 spaces for the office and 4 spaces for the hair salon. I do have some pre-marked exhibits, and Charlie also has them on the overhead. If I can just hand up my packets at this time and go off the record very quickly so you have them.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
So as Mr. Edelman said, he's handed the board
Thank you.
a series of exhibits. Exhibits
Thank you.
A1 is a deed, A2 is a survey, A3 is a parking lot aerial, A4 is a photo of existing building, A5 is a floor plan, and A6 is a salon layout.
Thank you.
And as the exhibit package shows, Exhibit A1 demonstrates the ownership to the property for standing. Exhibit A2 is an overall survey of the property, which I believe you're familiar with. If we can go to Exhibit A3, which is shown on the overhead, it was shown on the overhead. Exhibit A3 demonstrates that there's adequate parking for the overall use of the property. There should be 2 slides showing 13 spaces. The property also has an easement to the property behind it, which is also owned by the owner of the property. If necessary, there's additional overflow parking available. However, the zoning only requires 13 spaces, which are shown on site immediately behind the building. Exhibit A4, we can switch to that, Charlie, shows just a picture of the building from the street view. There we go. And no additional signage, relief, or anything is being requested here. We're going to maintain the existing signage on the site. Exhibit A5 shows you a breakdown of the total leasable area so that you have an accounting as to what is going to be used for office versus what is going to be used for the salon. You can see it's 708 square feet for the salon. The second page of Exhibit A5 also gives you a floor plan of the overall building. That is the lower floor. The salon will be in Suite 1C, 272, 242, and 158.72 square feet. And if we go to Exhibit A6, keep going. We have a schematic, a brief schematic of showing you how the salon will be laid out. We're looking at 2 different stations and a treatment/massage room as well, and that's basically it. We're happy to answer any questions. Mr. Landau is here this evening, but in a summary, that is what is being proposed in terms of the hair salon use, seeking conditional use approval.
Thank you very much. Do we have any board questions? Where's Mr. Landau?
He came
How
from his
are you?
daughter's softball game, so.
All right, how are you? Is there any questions from the public? All right, hearing none, do I have a motion to close the hearing?
So moved. Second.
Motion carries. I think we're ready to vote on this as well. So do I have a motion to approve conditional use number 01-24 at 644 Germantown Pike to operate a personal service shop hair salon in the VC1 district as presented?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Congratulations and good luck.
Thank you very much for your time this evening. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Sean.
See you later.
Charlie, Chris.
Do I have a motion to open the public hearing to consider conditional use number 02-24 at 454 Germantown Pike to operate a medical chiropractor office on the first floor in the VC1 district?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
You like that, Mr. Kilkenny?
I appreciate it.
All right. First time you have to
Supervisor
correct me in
McCusker.
months.
There
we
you go.
Turn it over to you.
All right, tonight we have a conditional use hearing again for 454 Germantown Pike in Lafayette Hill for a medical office chiropractor in VC1 Commercial District, Subdistrict 1, 11629C3. The township exhibits are T1, the application with floor plans, site plans, and photographs submitted April 26, 2024. T2 will be the proof of publication in the Times Herald, May 29, 2024, and June 5, 2024. T3 will be the applicant's meeting notification letter of May 3, 2024. T4 will be the resident meeting notification letter of May 3rd, 2024. T5 will be the meeting, the posting of notice from June 4th, 2024. T6 will be the fire marshal review, May 8th, 2024. T7 will be the zoning ordinance compliance review, May 2nd, 2024. T8 will be the Whitemarsh Township Planning Commission recommendation, draft minutes of May 14th, 2024. Motion recommending approval. The applicant's attorney, Mr. Hughes, just handed the board another series of exhibits, and I'm going to go read those into the record. A1 will be the deed. A2 will be the assessor's property records and map. A3 will be the agreement of sale, which will be redacted. A4 will be the Google aerial and street view. A5 will be the zoning plan. A6 will be the floor plan, sheet A1. A7 will be the life safety egress plan sheet. A8 will be the parking easement recorded at DB 5350, page 29. A9 will be the petition in support of the requested relief. And A10 will be the fire marshal approval of egress plan. Like I said in the previous hearing, if any of the public was here, because the board is sitting in a quasi-judicial state, much like a zoning hearing board, I have to ask if anybody is requesting party status. If you don't request party status, doesn't mean you're able to comment. You are able to comment after the board makes their comments or ask any queries. Party status gives you the ability to call your own witnesses or cross-examine their witnesses if they bring them up. Is anybody requesting party status this evening? Okay, seeing none, what I will do then is turn it over to Mr. Guttenplan for a brief explanation, and then Mr. Hughes can begin his case.
Thank you. This is a conditional use for a medical office, specifically a chiropractic office, under section 116-290C3 of the Township zoning ordinance. This would be on the first floor of 454 Germantown Pike. The board may recall that last year you approved a conditional use in the same building for 5 apartments, 2 on the first floor and 3 on the second floor. The 2 apartments on the first floor are no longer going to be developed. Instead, the chiropractic office would take that place. The 3 apartments on the second floor are still proposed and still going to be on in that building. So there'll be 3 apartments on the second floor and a medical office on the first floor. The Planning Commission again reviewed this on the May 14th meeting and also recommended approval of this conditional use. With that, Mr. Hughes.
Good evening. Ed Hughes representing the applicant, Dr. Dillo. It's probably a little repetitive, but we seek conditional use approval to relocate the chiropractic office, which is currently at 606 Germantown Pike, down to the first floor of 454 Germantown Pike. Medical offices, such as a chiropractic office, are permitted by conditional use in the VC1 district. Will occupy the first floor, which is about 2,100 square feet. The rear building on the property is 900 square feet, was previously approved in July of 2022 for medical use. That's currently occupied. The second floor of the building will be converted into 3 apartments, similar to the approval that was received last year. In this go-around, the fire marshal came up with a review letter that talked about an egress plan needing 2 ways out of the second floor apartments for each apartment. So we had to adjust the plan slightly to accommodate that requirement, which we did, and the egress plan was approved by the fire marshal. The third floor on the property will be attic space. It'll be for storage for 2 of the apartments and building services. We share parking and access with the 2 adjacent properties, 450 and 452 Germantown Pike, pursuant to a recorded easement, parking easement. There's about 57 parking spaces on that shared parking area, and an ability to have about 7 or 8 additional parking spaces if needed. The 450 Germantown Pike is 3 apartments and a 300 square foot office, and 452 is 1 apartment and a 650 square foot office. And then our uses would require 5 parking spaces for the apartments. We need 1.5 per apartment, and that becomes 4.5 rounded up to 5. The 900 square foot medical building in the back needs 4.5 spaces rounded up to 5. And our proposal for the 2,100 square foot first floor would require 11 parking spaces. So the total parking requirement seems to be about 32, whereas there's about 57 spaces on the shared properties. It shows up on the aerial how large that parking area is, so there shouldn't be any problem with parking. At one point, the entire building was occupied by an accounting office, which required about 24 parking spaces, a little bit more than what we need.
I'm having difficulty hearing you. Please.
So
Is that microphone on it?
probably, yes it is, sorry about that. So the former use of the property was an accounting office, which required about 24 parking spaces based on the township code. So we're about the same number of parking spaces, and we're well under the 57 spaces that are available for the uses of those 3 different properties. So I have witnesses if you want to hear any of the witnesses, but that's basically our position. Conditional use allowed for a chiropractic office. We're just moving down the street with the chiropractic office, so there shouldn't be any impact on the community or the neighborhood.
So would the board like to hear from any of his potential witnesses?
Does the board need to hear anything from the witnesses? I think I'm okay. We're okay. Is there any questions from the board? Any public comment? Hearing none, do I have a motion to close the hearing?
So, second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We will now vote on the motion. Do I have a motion to approve conditional use number 02-24 at 454 Germantown Pike for proposed medical chiropractor office on the first floor in the VC1 district as presented?
So moved.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Who's the doctor? Congratulations. Do you do manual adjustments? You look like
I do, yeah.
Do you? You look like a big guy. I think. What do you think, Mr. Manuel would be over there?
Absolutely.
He would take us out. All right. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you. Take care, Jacy.
You too.
All right. We'll keep the public hearings rolling along. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing to consider a liquor license transfer to 726 Bethlehem Pike, Flowertown, PA, 19031?
So moved.
Now, hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Where Tamarindos Restaurant is located.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Mr. Kilkenny.
Mr. McCusker, this is not a conditional use hearing. This is a transfer of a liquor license, and I see Mr. Davis here representing Tamarindos. You have before you later, if the board so chooses, a resolution to potentially grant this. This is governed by Act 141 of the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board, who has procedures as far as approving the transfer of any liquor licenses in the Commonwealth. You have a lot of discretion in this matter if you do have any kind of questions related to this, but perhaps Mr. Davis can come up and make a presentation as to why this liquor license transfer is requested and needed.
Good evening. Mark Davis here for Tamarindos, Inc. As Mr. Kilkenny's indicated, Act 141 of 2000 suggests that when transferring a license, the host municipality or the new municipality, which is Whitemarsh in this case, needs to have a hearing, and the applicant needs your approval. You have a resolution later this evening, which is ably prepared by your solicitor's office, that outlines why we're here and the background. It's the address at Bethlehem Pike. It states that it's under Act 141. The burden is for anybody to suggest that this is somehow going to be detrimental to the health, welfare, and the morals of the community. By way of background, let me suggest that nothing's changing in our business model. Currently, there's a modern Mexican cuisine restaurant there. It's been there for approximately 10 years. My client's been in business for 23 years, relocated from the Broad Axe area. We're not changing the size of the building. Currently, we seat about 110 people inside, another 40 or 50 outside when the weather permits. What my client wants to do is take part of the dining area, the overflow dining area, and put a small bar in. He's thinking about 6 to 9 seats and a few high tops. Again, for your benefit, and I think for the purposes of the night, what I want to emphasize, as I suggested a minute ago, this is not changing the business or changing what's happening at the site. I don't see in any way this will be detrimental to your community. I have with me two of the principals of the business, but I suggest that at this point we're welcome to answer. We're welcoming any questions you might want answered.
Do we have any board questions, comments? Nope. Any public questions or comment? Thank you very much.
We're on the agenda later. My client has a large party.
We're going to get
He usually
we're going
closes
to
the
get there
hearing
right
and
now.
we'll take action. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Very
usually.
good, sorry. Thank you.
So do I have a motion to close the hearing?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, we'll jump to the resolution. Do I have a motion to adopt resolution number 2024-18, approving the transfer of liquor license to 726 Bethlehem Pike, Flowertown, PA 19031, where Tamarindos Restaurant is located?
Second.
Mr. McAnally, please call the roll.
Yes, Ms. Moy,
Yes.
Ms. Terrain,
Yes.
Mr. Manuel,
Yes.
Ms. Toll,
Yes.
Chairman Cusker.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations and good luck. Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right, we'll come down to ordinances. Do I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 1038, amending previous ordinance number 1034, Act 172, Firefighter Tax Exemption Credit, to include volunteer ambulance service and rename to Emergency Services Tax Exemption Credit?
So moved. Second.
Mr. McAnally.
Yes, previous this year, we passed a firefighter tax exemption ordinance. We are now adding the volunteer ambulance service to that ordinance, or we would like to. As it was an oversight at the time of the original ordinance, so we'd like to just add the volunteer ambulance service and then rename that firefighter tax exemption to the emergency service tax exemption ordinance.
Yep. All right, thanks, that makes sense. We talked about that. Any board comment? Public comment? Hearing none, Mr. McAnally, will you please call the roll?
Ms. White?
Yes.
Ms. Terrain?
Yes.
Mr. Manuel?
Yes.
Ms. Toll?
Yes.
Chairman Cusker?
Yes. Ordinance carries. Do I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 1039 to prohibit open burning with exceptions in Whitemarsh Township?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. McAnally.
Yes, the fire marshal is here. Fire Marshal Thomas is here and can explain this further if anyone has any questions. This is just to prohibit open burning throughout the township. There are some exceptions for fire pits and recreational fires, but for the most part, it's to stop the burning of leaves and twigs and everything
Got it.
throughout the township.
Andrew, do you have anything that you wanted to come up and say about this, or you're okay? Any board questions for Andrew? Any public comment questions? All right. Hearing none, Mr. McAnally, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Moy?
Yes.
Ms. Train?
Yes.
Mr. Emanuel?
Yes.
Ms. Toll?
Yes.
Chairman Cusker?
Yes. Ordinance carries. Do I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 1040, establishing new no-turn of red signs for east and westbound traffic on Skippack Road at the intersection of Joshua, Skippack, and Lafayette Avenue?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. McAnally, you had a misprint, just so you know. Go ahead.
New no turn on red signs, right? Yeah, so this is just adding no turn on red signs at Skippack Pike and Lafayette Avenue and Joshua Road. It's a little bit of a funky intersection there. Residents that live on the corner there is requesting this. We had the traffic safety unit out there reviewing this. They support it wholeheartedly, and it's now in front of you for consideration.
All right. Any board comment? Public comment? Hearing none, Mr. McAnally, will please call the roll?
Ms. Moy?
Yes.
Ms. Terrain?
Yes.
Mr. Emanuel?
Yes.
Ms. Toll?
Yes.
Chairman Cusker?
Yes. Ordinance carries. Do I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 1041, establishing a multi-way stop sign at the intersection of First Avenue and First Street?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. McAnally.
Yes, this is another request from residents in the area to try to help them get over 2 Miles Park at First and First. And safety unit went out there again, reviewed the area, and is in support of adding a multi-way stop sign there.
All right, any board comment? Public comment? Hearing none, Mr. McAnally, will you please call the roll?
Ms. Moy?
Yes.
Ms. Terrain?
Yes.
Mr. Emanuel?
Yes.
Ms. Toll?
Yes.
Chairman Cusker?
Yes. Ordinance carries. We will move into motions. Do I have a motion to approve authorization to advertise an ordinance implementing a new FOG, fats, oils, and grease reduction program managed by the Whitemarsh Authority to comply with the Clean Water Act of 1977?
So moved. Second.
All right, so Brent is here from the authority. Do you have anything to say about this, or
I think it's basically...
you want to come up?
Yeah, I'll come up. It's been one of the endeavors since authority actually got out of the township to eventually manage the fog program. And since my staff is out in the streets, they know exactly where the sewer issues are, dealing with the fog issues from our pump station to the collection system to the plant. And I think it's beneficial that we would have eyes, just no different than a doctor. If you have a clogged artery, we're out the system. And I think it's beneficial that we work in conjunction with the township to implement this program.
All right, thanks, Brent. Appreciate it. Any board comment? Any public comment? All right, hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. The next motion is for the appointment of the steering committee for Abolition Hall. Before I do that, I'd like to read the purpose. So the purpose of the Abolition Hall Steering Committee is to make recommendations to the Township Board of Supervisors related to the use of Abolition Hall, the main house, and the surrounding grounds to ensure long-term sustainability and public use of the buildings and grounds while preserving the rich history of the property. The steering committee will assist in the planning and facilitation of the uses and operations of Abolition Hall and the main house to ensure the township's compliance with the grant agreement with the Carabats Foundation, thereby fostering recreational and educational programs for diverse groups of people, including underserved and disadvantaged youths. The steering committee shall also assist the township in identifying, advancing, and promoting opportunities to secure funding to preserve, improve, and enhance Abolition Hall so the township's commitment and vision for the property can be fulfilled. So do I have a motion to appoint the following members of the steering committee for Abolition Hall? Laura Boyle Nestor, Dana Dorsey, Deborah Lukens, Edmund Shin, and Darren Sudman.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Did you want to say anything about this, Jacy? So what I was going to add to this is, this was a very difficult decision to come up with as far as the steering committee. And Jacy, myself, Bob Downs, and Laura Boyle Nestor went through the applicants, and there was a ton of applicants who we could have used our expertise. And it's not a perfect process all the time, but we selected people who had commitment throughout the community, who have done big projects, and that included fundraising, running organizations, and had resources available to us to bring through the goals of the township when it came to Abolition Hall. So we came up with Bob Downs is going to be the liaison to the family, the Carabats family. He also was a part of the process. Roy Wilson will be a consultant, an unpaid consultant, and we're excited to get moving forward on this. All of the meetings will be public. So even though you might not be on the committee, every meeting that the committee has will be open to the public for public comment and public participation. So do we have any board comment?
I just wanted to mention additionally that I will be the liaison for
I'm
this
sorry.
committee to the Board of Supervisors.
Thank you. Any other board comment? Any public comment?
Would you mention the names again, please?
Sure. Laura Boyle Nestor, Dana Dorsey, Deborah Lukens, Edmund Shin, and Darren Sudman. Does anybody want to come to the podium for comment?
There's a hand raised
There-
in the...
Okay, you can come up to the podium.
And then we'll
And then we'll
address
go to-
the,
we'll go to
if there's
Zoom.
an online.
Yes.
Yes, my name is Ken Parsons. I live at 605 Wagner Avenue in Lafayette Hill. I'm also the vice chairman of the Harper. The reason why I came here this evening is to address basically the involvement that I wish to see that the Harper Board get involved regarding to reviewing and going through the steering committee as you selected, that you proposed. I just want to know where we stand with the Harper Board and what involvement do we stand in the steering committee?
So, yeah, this is a public comment period,
Yeah.
but just to answer your question, the meetings are open to the public. You're more than able to go to each meeting and have participation at this point. So,
Of the
thank
steering
you.
committee.
So, of the steering committee, all public. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's a hand raised on
Okay, let's go to
the line
Zoom.
here. Dan?
Hi, thank you. I'm Dan Zeleno. I'm the president of the board
Can you turn it
of
up a little
directors
bit?
Yeah, I
for
can't
the
hear him.
Yeah.
Whitemarsh Arts Center. I just want to say thank you, welcome, and I'm really looking forward to working with you all. And I believe that we have a ton of opportunity to really make the future of Abolition Hall and the Corson Tract a great opportunity for the community.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for coming to the meeting tonight. Any other public comment? All right, hearing none, we'll move on. Do I have a motion to accept the resignation of both retired Officer Paul Davis and current soon-to-be retired Detective Sergeant James Cotter from the Police Pension Committee?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I'd like to thank both officers for their participation. Do I have a motion to appoint the following members to the Police Pension Committee? Retired Officer Steve Schmitz and current Sergeant Michael Burton.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Do I have a motion to appoint Andrew Terry as member to the Open Space Board?
So moved. Second.
All right, any board comment on this? Nothing? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the Hold Harmless Agreement at 438 Bethlehem Pike to erect a freestanding sign in the right-of-way of Morris Road?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. McAnally?
Yes, I'm going to pass it over to
Charlie?
Mr. Guttenplan.
Thank you. This is for a sign, and I'm just trying to bring up the, excuse me 1 second. This is for a sign at the intersection of Bethlehem Pike and the Morris Road extension. This is the site. You may know it as Rich's Deli. At least that's in the first floor of the building, and most people know the building by that name. This is the building. This is Morris Road extension, which is the direction that the sign is going to face. This is the sign and its location, and it is advertising. It is not an advertising sign. It's an identification sign for the architectural firm which is located in that building on the upper floors. This has been inspected by the traffic safety unit of the police department. They felt that it was far enough back and had no interference with sight distance at that intersection, and therefore staff is recommending approval of the Hold Harmless Agreement.
Thanks, Charlie. Any board comment? Any public comment? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the Hold Harmless Agreement at 901 Washington Street for the installation of pedestrian stairways to connect to the sidewalks along Washington Street, which will encroach on the ultimate right-of-way?
So moved. Second.
All right, Charlie.
Thank you. This is to allow a few, well, actually two short stairways from the development at 901 Washington Street, the 62 townhouse development that's currently under construction, to allow people to go from within the development to the sidewalk of Washington Street without walking across the planted berm. The developers already noticed that people are doing that and felt that a few stairways that were in those areas would solve the problem. But because two of the four stairways proposed infringe on the ultimate right-of-way of Washington Street, the hold harmless is necessary. Township engineer and I have reviewed this, and we both felt that this was a reasonable change order for this plan, and are recommending that it be approved. The two stairways that are highlighted here, this one down here, kind of on the western end of the development, and the other one closer to the Davis Bridal property on this end of the development, are the two that cross over the berm and go onto the sidewalk via the ultimate right-of-way. So that is the reason for the hold harmless agreement.
Thanks, Charlie. Any board comment? Any public comment? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Do I have a motion to authorize escrow release number 11 to the Oaks at Lafayette Hill, SLD number 06-04, in the amount of $234,245.23?
So moved.
Second.
And we'll go to Krista's Corner.
This is escrow release number 11 and final for the Oaks at Lafayette Hill in the amount of $234,245.23. Our office has inspected the site and found the improvements to have been constructed in accordance with the plan, and we're recommending this release.
Thanks, Krista. Any board comment?
Looks really good.
Good.
Any other board comment?
What's the remaining escrow?
$0 and
Zero. This is it.
They're done.
All right.
Yep.
Any public comment? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, do I have a motion to approve the May 2024 expenditures totaling $1,661,714.62, payroll totaling $644,318.39, and pension plan costs totaling $3,168.19?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the certificate of appropriateness for the following locations, all for roof and gutter replacements, as recommended by HARB? 107 Black Walnut Lane, 113 Black Walnut Lane, 109 Black Walnut Lane, 121 Black Walnut Lane, 123 Black Walnut Lane.
So moved.
Second.
All right, Charlie?
Thank you. These applications were reviewed by HARB at their meeting yesterday, June 12th. They are merely roof replacements on 5 properties within Black Walnut Lane that are approaching 25 years of age and apparently are ready for replacement. Several of them include gutter replacement, others are just a roof replacement. HARB had no issue with any of them and recommended certificates of appropriateness for all 5.
All right, thank you, Charlie. Any board comment? Any public comment? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the certificate of appropriateness for 2 new signs at 37 East Germantown Pike, as recommended by HARB?
So moved.
Second.
All right, Charlie?
Thank you. This is a 3-building office complex at 37 East Germantown Pike. I'm sure most of you have seen this complex. It has a central parking lot and long white buildings on both sides, and this is the aerial photograph of that site. The 2 signs that we're talking about, one is on the front building on the right-hand side as you go into it, on the stucco chimney, and one is a new panel sign out front here on the directory sign. The reason that these are in front of HARB is even though it's set somewhat far back, the sign on the chimney would be somewhat visible for traffic going east on Germantown Pike. So in abundance of caution, HARB reviewed that and reviewed the sign at the front. This is the sign that's going to go on the chimney. It is for a psychologist's office that's going to go in that front building with the entrance around the corner from the chimney that you won't see from the road. This is a practice that has been in Chestnut Hill for over 20 years that's moving to the township. And this is 2 versions of the sign out front. This purple is the branding color for Dr. Allison Nuremberg, her preference in color, and she gave the HARB an alternative of black. Since this is not an approved historic color, however, HARB accepted the purple as being her branding color and recommended approval of this as well as the other sign. I also want to mention in passing that the approval for this psychologist to locate in this building occurred last night at the zoning hearing board. So
All right.
again, HARB is recommending approval of this certificate of appropriateness for these 2 signs.
Thank you, Charlie. I do like the purple, for what it's worth.
See?
Any board comment?
As an alumni of Northwestern University, I wholly endorse the purple.
And what you don't see on these pictures, unfortunately, is these other panels are not black or gray. They have different colors in them too, including red in the Office Works, and I can't remember what the color is on the dance studio, but it also has a color.
Yeah, it's a good-looking sign. All right. Any other board comment? Any other colors of colleges we'd like to see in the future? Any public comment? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We'll move into the public comment period. Any public comment? All right, any board comments? I would like to thank all of our emergency services for keeping us safe as we move into the summer months. I know it can be a busier time, so thank you all very much. Thank you, Andrew and Chief, for coming out to the meeting tonight. And I'd like to announce we had executive meeting where we talked about real estate and personnel. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Good night, everybody, and happy Father's Day.